Hey, beautiful ladies. I have a very special story for you today about the amazing Joanne. And I was just asking her some questions about how does someone who was a scientist end up overseas and then back rock climbing and then personal trainer and now like fascinating story. Thank you so much, Joanne, for sharing, your time with us to, give us a bit of a rundown around what your experience was like with Wealthy Woman. But give us a bit of an overview around you. How did you end up moving into the coaching space?
Well, I guess I started as a scientist. So I did a PhD, and then after my PhD, I went to Scotland to do a postdoc. I didn't enjoy science, and then I quit because I was like, I don't want to continue doing something that I'm not passionate about, just for the sake of doing it. But then, yeah, when I was in Scotland, I got into climbing and I loved it. And I was just climbing everywhere in Europe whenever I could. Moved to Vienna, did even more climbing. And then it was like, okay, time to come back to Australia. And when I got back to Australia, because I'd been away and trying to get into a new career, I was just trying to find any job. And I happened to find a job in a climbing gym and started as a route setter. So that's where you kind of make the climbing routes that people climb on. And I loved it because I guess I feel like it's a very male dominated space. So there's not a lot of women. And I was like, there's definitely a lot of female climbers. So I want to let women climb climbs that are made by women because, we don't necessarily want to climb the same way as men do. So I got into that and I just loved that job. I think it was a hard job, but I loved it. But then I also started doing coaching for beginner climbers and I would run women's nights. And so I think that's where that coaching sort of started. I was always loving to share my love of the sport with people who are new because I started climbing with absolutely no strength. So I had to learn how to build that myself really slowly in the privacy of my own home. So I know that it was really intimidating to do it in a gym. And then now I'm a personal trainer. And so I want to help, particularly women, learn how to build functional strength because I know that it can be really intimidating in a gym space. So my program is about building functional strength in a way that's not in a gym but at home so you can get practical and advice and in a supportive way and how learn how to build fitness into your lifestyle. Um, but
I
yeah,
love that. I find it fascinating because I think, okay, great. So, you started your educational career down one pathway
yeah.
and then decided to have a huge pivot. Was that hard, like with family expectations and even for yourself? What was that like?
It, I think the family expectations was the hardest because I knew from a very young age that I had to do a PhD, 13. So I've going through life going, I don't really like science, but it's kind of what is expected of me. So I did honors. I did undergrad and I was like, whoa, I didn't enjoy that. Then I did honors because I was like, well, I've already spent 3 years doing this, didn't enjoy that. And I said, well, I've gone this far. I'll do a PhD. Absolutely very stressful. But I was using the PhD to just tell myself, well, I'm going to get overseas. That's my goal. And I don't regret doing the PhD because I learned a lot about myself and commitment and dedication and how to complete something because no one else is going to do that thesis for you. You have to do it. So I kind of realized that I know how to drag myself through stuff. So I kind of hold that with me all the time. But yeah, I moved to Scotland to do a PhD and I loved Scotland, beautiful country, lots of hiking, lovely people. But the job was just really stressful. And then I was just thinking to myself, well, I can do this, but is this what I want for myself? Is this what I want for my life? And it wasn't. And so I guess I made that decision to leave because I wanted to feel a spark. Because I think when I moved to Scotland, I definitely felt a lot more free and I was like, oh, I can start to be myself. But I knew that the job part wasn't me. And I was like, well, I actually want to be fully me. I want to love what I do because I love what I do outside of work, but why can't I love my own work? So that's why I started to, I made a conscious decision, I guess, to try to follow my heart and my passion. And that led me to climbing and then led me to coaching and I think from in climbing I've always loved to and advocated for women. I've written about like women in the climbing industry, which got, I guess, a lot of interest and a lot of conversations started. And so that for me, it's just natural that I want to build an online program that is focused for women and helping them feel more capable, feel strong, and mobile, and be able to do the things that they want to do.
I love it. Your parents probably didn't, but I love it. I love it. I think it is so brave because so many people, not just women, but are from, with their generationals and their parents, and it's like their expectations around what they have to do. And, for you to get to that point and going, hang on, what do I want? And then to not worry about what other people think. And that is not, when I say not worry, I'm sure you were worried, but to do it anyway, right? Because at the end of the day, it's your life. I find that extremely inspiring. So thank you for sharing that. So how did you come into our world? What led you down the wealthy woman yellow brick road?
Well, I guess because as I said, I was a route setter. So route setting is you're with power drills, you're up ladders, you're holding things. It's
Yeah, it's the same as what we do, right? Totally.
it's really physical, and I 43 and I'm working with people who are 20, sometimes 21, 25. Like they've got a lot of energy, and I kind of was like, I can't really keep up, and it's I still want to climb, but it's taking up so much of my energy that I can't climb for myself. So I always knew that route setting had an expiry date, and so that's why I got my qualifications as a PT, because I knew that I needed something to slide into, but I was always reluctant to commit fully to the PT work because I was like, I don't know how to. I knew I didn't want to work in a gym, but I was also like, I don't know how to run my own business. But I knew that that's ideally what would work best for me, especially if I wanted to be true to myself. Because if I work in a gym, I'd be like, it just wouldn't feel like me. Um, but I was like, okay, but you don't know how to do this. And I think I saw something about building an online business that isn't salesy. And I'm like, oh, that resonates with me because I don't want to do that sort of salesy. That's not me. I don't, and that's why I had to learn how to sell myself, I guess. And I needed help. But I wanted it from women because I feel that there's something about women helping women that, and that sort of compassionate feelings you get that understanding, you get that sort of softer approach. And I think that's why I wanted that kind of experience. I was looking for that kind of experience as opposed to here's my 5-step program, just follow this blueprint sort of thing.
Yeah. And what's the experience been like for you?
It's like it has pushed me.
She moves in her chair.
I think I knew that I wanted to be pushed. I think part of me was like wasn't sure that I could achieve what it was like, oh, you'll get this in this time. And I was like, I don't know. But then I think what I learned from this was that like the group classes, you could see everyone's like you. I think I felt for a long time that I wasn't maybe the right. I was like, oh, I think I got into this, but I'm not actually like everyone else. I'm not a profession. Like I'm a new PT, and I was like, everyone seems very established, and I was like, oh, maybe this wasn't the right fit. But I think what I learned was that everyone's at a different stage, and I think I'm at an early start of my PT and running a business, but I think now I know how to set up my calls, and I know how there was just so many things I didn't even think about. I think that was has been really valuable, and how to send out a message that targets like the dream client, like really understanding who you're trying to target. I think that was important. And actually I should say that I didn't even have a program before I started. So I had to make an offer through this course, and then it's through that forcing me to sort of think about, okay, what are you trying to offer? Who are you trying to offer it to? And then I developed this and now, and it works. And I was just like, what? I was like, I had nothing and I've got something now that works. And I'm confident. It's very small right now, but I am confident in how it works. I'm confident in like my ability to make connections with women and help them progress because I am seeing that right now. So like I think that's for me the biggest thing to know that the proof of concept it works. And I just have to keep doing it.
Yeah. What's been the biggest thing for you around accountability? How have you seen the accountability with the team really impact for you?
Oh, it's really needed, I think, because I think there were a lot of things that were in my head. I was like, oh no, it's that's too scary. I can't do that. And then you'd get a little message and be like, hey, let's have a chat. And I'll be like, oh, oh, okay, yes, no, this is why I signed up. And then I do the chat and I would feel so much more motivated because I think the team just helps you see your why and then reminds you of your why. And I think that's the biggest thing because then it's like, yes, I am terrified, but why am I doing this? You know, to get this. So this is part of the process. And Marley always says, what was it? Eat that frog. so, so you just like get it done, and then it was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. And then the next time you do it, it was like, yeah. So there's that initial first resistance, but I think when you get that sign up, I remember, and then I'd hear your activation. Your Friday activations always. Um, I was always like, okay, I've got this, I've got this. And it was always weird because I was always like, I can read about it, and I know what it is, but there's something different about hearing it live. Yeah, so that was definitely very useful. And I think all the mindset work was really useful as well. Because I'm a climber, I do a lot of mindset work because you need to manage your fear, to achieve your goals and keep it together while you're climbing. And it was always really interesting to draw that parallel to business. But because I was at a very different point of my business journey as opposed to how my climbing, because I've been climbing for 18 years, I this is just a lot more fear, but I could see how you manage it in climbing, but I couldn't quite like transfer it yet. So I just had to accept that I was like, okay, you're at a different part. And, but it was really cool. Like I liked to see that connection with climbing, because I love climbing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a rock climber, but when I went to Nepal, and there was just so much about my because I'd never, trekked up a mountain either, and there was for me there was so much that related to business to
Yeah.
that walk. Like it's just literally one step in
Yeah.
front of the other. You just don't stop. You just keep moving, and you have if you do have a little break, and you keep going. So I agree. There's so much to relate with that as well. Thank you for sharing all of that and going into some beautiful storytelling for us as well. What advice would you have for a woman who's watching this, whether they are in a career that they know their heart's not in, but maybe they're caught up in a bit of fear, whether it's because of pressure of, family, or it could be financials too. Um, or maybe they've started their business but just don't have the right structure and systems in place to be able to have the confidence that you've been able to grow. What would you say to her?
I would say it's really useful to have a group because I think if you're isolated, it's very easy to sort of get in your head, um, and the voices will be a bit more negative. And I think when you're in a group, you've got people who are experiencing the same things as you. They might have the same fears. They might have similar like issues. And I think sharing that and knowing that you're not alone really helps you sort of like continue and have the bravery to stick with your heart and go for it because I don't think if I was doing it alone I would have stayed or I would have started looking for another job. I think sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, but then there's that I hear that voice, and I guess I want to be true to her, and so but I think for me, that voice has been there for a long time. So I think if you're wondering, yeah, sorry, I am kind of waffling, but I'd say yeah, get a group, be in a group like this, because I think it was that support of women that for me feels always like just it's like a big hug. That it's okay, and you're allowed to be vulnerable. I think that was what I really liked about this group. You can be vulnerable and you don't have to put on a brave face all the time because it is scary.
Sometimes for me still, people are like, what? I'm like, of course. Like,
Yeah.
I'm human. And one last question, Joanne. What are you most proud of about yourself through this journey?
I think I'm proud that I actually put together a program and I put it out to the world, even though I was terrified. And now it's working. It's I'm getting clients, and I think gave me the confidence to know that I just have to give it a shot. I think that's the main thing, and I think I didn't believe that before I started. I was like categorically, no, I cannot do this. But now I do believe that it is possible. It is possible. I've done it. So,
It is, and you are, and you should be really proud of yourself because you've made so many big decisions over your life to change your future based on what you wanted to do. So you should be very proud of yourself. It's very inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your insights as well. Is there anything else you wanted to add that we've not gone into that you think is important?
uh, no, I think we're good.
Covered it. Excellent. Well, ladies, if you are looking for some help with building your strength, I mean, definitely reach out to Joanne. She's amazing. She's got a fabulous program, and you can see that she's so passionate about this with 18 years behind her as well. So feel free to reach out to Joanne as well. Thank you again, Joanne. We really appreciate you. And this is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see you continue to grow and all of the women's lives that you're going to be able to support. Because for me, one of my biggest goals is I just want to be strong because I know that at the end of the day, it's going to be me and my body. You know,
Exactly.
husbands may come and go. Don't tell him that. Kids will move on and have their own life, but at the end of the day, it's going to be me with me with my body. So I'm totally on your wavelength with strength. So I love that. So thank you so much. Bye, ladies.